Hey y'all, welcome back. So I'm out here in the garden today on a nice sunny day. No, well, it's still windy. I'm wondering when the wind's going to die down. Anyways, so I'm out here today and I'm going to show y'all how to plant some onions. I have three different types that I'm going to plant. As you can see behind me, I already have one set of onions in there. They're just regular green onions. Um, Nothing too special about them. I mainly use them to keep the pest away, and I'll talk more about them later. So let's go plant some onions. Okay, so here are my three types of onions. I just got them from Lowe's. They have quite a few different varieties in one set. You get 100 count, which is plenty enough for your average gardener, I feel. So they have the Red Baron, the Stuttgarter, I think I'm saying that right, and then just your average snowball. I really like red onions the most, so I'm going to probably plant more of those than anything else. And the way you start is you start by working your soil, getting it nice and loose. I would suggest planting it next to your lettuce or any other garlic or onions that you have. They'll grow well next to them, but they grow really well next to lettuce because they don't compete with lettuce for root space. Onions like to go really deep into the roots, whereas lettuce does not. And what you want to do is you want to dig down about an inch. I have about 4 inches here, so I'm going to put some more dirt back in there. But you want them to plant them an inch deep and 4 inches apart. So let's do that now. And like I said, I have to put some more dirt back in there. I pulled up some green onions I had planted here because I don't use green onions as much as I thought I was going to. And I've got my little marker here to remind me what I planted. I always suggest in plastic markers because you just never know that you'll remember them all or not, especially when you're planting a lot like I do. So you want to start with the roots, obviously down at the bottom and the pointy end up to the top. And there was one already in the bag, as you can see, trying to grow. It doesn't want to come off, but it's rotting away, unfortunately, so that makes me sad. But there are plenty enough here to keep us satisfied. Let's see, so that's one. I like to measure everything just so I know where everything is. I only have so many raised beds and so much room in my raised beds, and I want to get as much bang from a buck. So I measure everything almost precisely, unless I've grown it before, and I have not grown red onions before, so something new. You'll learn with me as I learn. That's the best way to learn, is together. Alright, now that I've got those in there, I'm just going to cover them up with the soil. Try not to mess up with my spinach. Cover them up nice and well. Don't mess with the little radish seedlings, my Swiss chard seedlings. Cover them up, tuck them in, and then I will water them here in a bit. So I'm going to plant and talk, so please bear with me. So onions are really good to keep pests away from other plants, other animals, things like that. They're good, I've realized, for keeping the Japanese beetle away. I don't know how it does it. Maybe it's the smell, maybe it's something it gives off. Doesn't like them. Last summer, I had a ton of Japanese beetles all over my peach trees, but they did not touch my garden at all. And I had a whole lot more green onions and the wild onions stuck in my garden just to keep the pests and the bugs away. They're supposed to be really good for keeping aphids away and root mites. Is that what they're called? I have to look that up. That's just what I've been told. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm mostly growing them right now because I'm tired of buying onions from the store and not getting the best quality. So I figured I'd give it a go on planting them myself this year. And hopefully you guys will join me and grow your own. You can tell me about your experience with them and I will share mine. So we'll see how it goes. Now I will say this, I think I'm late in the game in planting onions, so you might be too. But I think that's okay because we have all the way until at least the middle of April to get something from them before the heat really starts picking up. And according to everything I've researched, you're supposed to harvest them in the middle of spring when down by the leaves start turning brown. So I think we have plenty of time to maybe not get huge onions from our harvest, but we will definitely get something useful to eat with, and they even have medicinal purposes. You can slice them up and stick them on the bottom of your foot with a sock when you're sick, and it'll draw the fever and other bad buggies, as I call them to my kids, out of your body. They're very good for detoxifying the body of any ailments or just bad sickness. So we'll see. And when I get done here, I'm going to show y'all my attempt to save all the little seedlings that I did not think were going to pop up from my tomato plants and pepper plants and all the other flowering plants I have going on. I didn't expect them to all germinate and do their thing, but they have, and I really don't want to kill them. I want to save them, so I'm going to attempt to do that here in a minute. So we'll see if that works. I think some of them will. I've done it before with tomatoes, but I've never done it before with flowering plants or even peppers. I know it doesn't work with peas. Those you have to sow into the ground. They do not like to be transplanted. So do not try to grow peas in pots. If you've had it work before, please let me know your trick, because I have never had peas be sown in pots and then transplanted into the ground and survive. And I've been gardening for 8 years now, and I've tried almost every time and it never works. So let me know your secrets if you get it to work. I use all the rainwater that I can get, and it helps lower the cost of the water bill, so that makes my husband happy. Alright, once you get them planted, just give them a nice good soak. It helps them adjust to the soil and gets them going on the growing. Right, I'm going to water my other seedlings while we're at it. Try not to hit the thermometer. I did manage to plant some peas. Over here I have sugar magnolia peas, so we'll see how they go. First time actually sticking the peas in the ground. Normally, like I said, I try to transplant them, get them from someone else, and it never works. So this year I've done a lot more research and I'm trying to grow them from seed. And if it doesn't work like that, then I have learned the lesson that peas is just something I am not meant to grow. And that's the hard, cold truth that some people, like me, take years to learn. Sometimes we are just not meant to grow certain things. And that's okay. Alright, welcome back, guys. It is much later, and as homeschoolers know, life got in the way today, so now I am back with my tea and my favorite mug. Everyone that knows me knows I love Harry Potter almost as much as I love gardening. So here's what I wanted to show you. It's going to involve me moving the camera around a bit, so I apologize if it's kind of wonky, but it's worth it. So as you can see, I have a whole lot of seedlings in each one of these cups where there's really only supposed to be one or two depending on the type of tomato. Like the yellow pear tomatoes, it can sustain growing two together, no more than three, just because they do get quite big. These pork chop tomatoes though, they get very big, as well as the aromas. The plants get big, the fruit gets big. It really needs a place of its own. So what I am doing today, or well, tonight, is I'm going to take some of these seedlings out. And as you can see, they look kind of fuzzy, and that is when I start to try to take them out, and also when they start developing other little leaves here. So fun fact about the little fuzzies is those are the start of roots. Every tomato plant, and I believe even cucumbers and peppers, have some sort of fuzz on the bottom of them. And if you mound up the dirt around those, they will form roots. That's why you can take cuttings of tomatoes and the little fuzzy parts on the branches will actually turn into roots and the plant will survive. Like this one here has fairly good fuzzies. And once I build up the dirt around that one, it will get stronger, it'll get taller, and it will produce better fruit. So what I've done so far is I've labeled what I can probably take up and from these biodegradable seedling bags and stick in here so everyone has a little bit more room to grow. And how I do that is I get the soil nice and wet, and I make a hole almost all the way down to the bottom because the roots will spread out regardless. And then I carefully pluck my seedling. The marigolds are quite easy to do. They're more of a top soil plant. And I stick them right in there. And I use a pencil to help me. And they will go all the way down in there. I'm going to cover them up. And anytime you transplant anything, you want to give it a good soaking with water. And I just use my spray bottle. It likes to make funny noises. And that's pretty much it. And I will do that for all of these cherry tomatoes. Like I said, only leaving one or two in these bags. I really like these bags because I can fold them down to a certain length, and then as these guys get bigger, I can add more and more soil and just raise up the bags until they get all the way up to the top, and that'll make a stronger, healthier plant for you guys and me as well. So let me finish the tray and show you what it looks like. Alright, so I'm back, and as you can see, I didn't get all of my tray filled like I had hoped. Not all of these little seedlings and further inspection have enough fuzzies or another set of leaves to safely transplant like I had hoped, but that's okay. They have time to grow, and I will just keep filling the trays, and I will let you guys know how they do as I fill the tray and as they grow. So thanks for hanging out with me. Have a good night. Bye.